Hi, welcome back to the Flutter mobile application development course. This is the third lecture in this series. And if you have not subscribed this channel, then please subscribe so that you can get the notification of the new videos in time. So let's start. So in this one, I will just give a brief or gentle introduction about the Dart language, which we have been using in the last two lectures to build mobile applications using the Flutter framework. So Dart is an object-oriented programming, strongly typed. I mean, we need to specify the types of each and every variable. Single-threaded event loop, that is, if you are familiar with the JavaScript framework like Node, then it's a single-threaded event loop handler, which handle a single thread is handling all the events. And then, of course, developer experience, it is designed in such a way that it make that development more easier and it create a good developer experience. So let's talk about the main method. So main method is more like a starting point, just like in the C++ or in the Java, we have the main method, and that whenever you execute your program, that is the entry point of into your program, or that is the starting point of your application. So similarly, in the Dart, we also have a main method which does not return anything, and it is the entry point of our program or the application. And normally, when we are developing, we see this kind of the main method in this form. So it is run app and constant my app. So this is the starting point of your application when it starts. But the other thing which is important is different type of data types, and then we also have variables. So we have the integer type variable, we have double, which is using the floating type numbers. We also have num, we also have string, boolean, list type, set type, map, which is more like a key value pair. And then if you need to know more about these styles, then you can click on the link, and then it will you can read about the documentation which are given on the dot dev website. There's another way to define a variable which call it up using the var keyword. It declare a variable, and then based on the first value that is assigned to that variable, it will define the data type. For example, if you define a variable, my name, and then you assign it a number, then that variable, even it is a my name, it should be a string, but it will become a number. So first value that we are assigning, if we declare a variable using the var keyword in the Dart language, then the first value that we are assigning to that variable, then the type of that variable will be decided at the compile time, and that will be the value and type of that data type of that variable, and then it will remain constant. You can't change it later on. So this is a little bit different. We also have a final keyword that we can use to define the final variable, but we will see that thing during the practical session. We also have the control flow, just like the other languages. We have if else if. We also have a for loop, while loop, do while loop. So we have all these kind of structures which you are familiar from the other languages, whether you are coming from the C++ or the Java or the C sharp, or even from the Python programming background. So we also have the same kind of the flow controls which exist in other languages. We also have functions, reusable code that we can use again and again. We also have the shorthand or arrow function, which can be quickly write a simple function which takes one parameter, and we are doing only one action in that function, that is printing the name. So yes, we can do. We also have that one. The other thing is, we want to import certain libraries, then we can just write the import keyword, and then in the in the single quotes or as a string, we can provide the details of the library that we want to import into our program. We also have the concept of classes or enum, inheritance, interfaces, abstract classes, async, exceptions handling. So everything that you can find in any modern programming language, and you can find it here as well. The next thing that I want to talk about is the Dart virtual machine. So that is actually a machine in which we can run the programs quickly and efficiently. It has two times. One is, of course, compiled and runtime and phases. So when you are compiling your program and converting that into the what you can say, the machine code for the target, whether you are targeting a mobile application or mobile devices, or you are targeting for a desktop environment, or you are targeting for a web. So based on that, we are converting that program into a different executable form. So compile time, and then of course at the runtime when we are running that code in that target device or target framework. So there are two types of the compilations. One is the just in time, and the other one is ahead of time. When we are compiling the complete program from the source code to the target executable code, then we call it an ahead of time. Before we can execute, we are converting the whole program and converting that into the machine executable form depending on our target. The other thing, or the other way of the compilation or the compilation, is the just in time. Just in time is more used when we are using the hot reload functionality of our Flutter framework or the Dart programming. Why? Because when we say hot reload, you know that we don't need to re-execute or recompile our whole program and rerun our application again and again. So whenever we are making some changes into our code, we can quickly, as soon as we save our uh, code, it automatically show us the output. So that makes our a good developer experience. That's I talk about that Dart programming language provide a good developer experience. So just in time compilation is used at that time to provide that whole reload feature. And then, like other languages, Dart also have the garbage collection. We can also do concurrency. I mean, concurrency means that multiple threads or multiple computational parts or the pro functions are running at the same time. So concurrency is also there, just like the other languages. So Dart is more like a modern programming language, which provide you all different features which are present in the modern programming languages. Dart also provides some libraries or the core libraries which are already there. I mean, whenever you have installed the Dart, these libraries are all, by default there. The core library, the first one, that that is automatically included in every Dart program. Doesn't matter you have imported or not. Okay. But for the other languages, for other libraries like async or the IO or the convert on demand, you need to import. We need to import those libraries explicitly if we want to use them. Async is for the concurrency control, how we can run different programs at the same time, await asynchronous programming. Sorry. IO is for more for the input and output. Convert, because we are convert is a library which help us to convert the things from JSON to the Dart objects, or from Dart objects to the JSON, so we can convert between different types of the data. And because we are going to save the data maybe in the databases or maybe in the local storage, maybe in the cloud. So when we are sending that data over the cloud, we need to convert that into JSON. So the convert library is helpful to convert different types of data into different forms. And then, of course, math library can provide you the mathematical functions, mathematical sine, cos, tan, taking the square root, random number generation, and so on. So if we have something related to the math, then you need to import the math library, and then you can use it. So that is a brief introduction or the gentle introduction of the Dart language. And definitely when we are doing the practical part, then we can discuss more about that, and then we will see how we can do that. The next thing that is the let's get back to the Flutter pro now. So again, as you know that everything in the Flutter is a widget. So we have different types of widgets. If we want to perform an action, we have buttons, we have elevated buttons, we have filled buttons, we have filled buttons tonal, in which you have a different tone of the filled color. Um, we also have outline buttons, we have text buttons. So if you look at that, these are the clickable links. So if you click on those, you will go to the uh, documentation of these classes which are present in the Flutter framework. So because we want to perform an action, so we need to specify the property, on press property, and that will be assigned to a function. Okay, so that here it is an anonymous function which we are defining here without any name. So we can define the function without a name. So if we want to define something here, then it is an anonymous function. And we want to perform certain actions or certain things when we press on these buttons. So we can write those actions here in this anonymous function. Or we can create our function in that class, and then we can call that function on the on press event of that button. So we will see that also today. The main thing that I want to discuss next is the elevated button. So elevated button, and this is the constructor of that button. If we want to create that button, it is already there. That class is present in the Flutter framework. So we just need to create it, and automatically we have that button for us. If you look at this constructor, it has a long list of the parameters that we need to provide, and they are the named parameters. We will talk about a little later about the details. So here, if you look at that, there are two parameters which has the keyword required. It means that if we want to create an elevated button properly, then we have to specify these two parameters. One is the on press. It means what we are going to perform or what we are going to do, or which function we are going to execute when this button is pressed. And the second thing, the second required or the compulsory parameter is the child. It means that we need to provide a child. Of course, if we just provide a child with nothing, it means that it will does not display anything on the button. It will create a button, but it does not display anything on it. Okay. The and then of course we also have this is the inheritance. I mean, starting from the object, which is the um, parent class of all the classes which exist in the Flutter. So then we have a diagnosticable tree, then we have widget, stateful widget, and then we also have the button style buttons, and then we also have the elevated button. So this is the inheritance tree for this elevated button. And we also have some other properties that we can on long press. It means that we click on that and then we keep that press for a longer period of time, then maybe we want to perform a different action, then we can assign it to a function that we can do that. Okay, so that is also a possibility that we can do a long press. Then this is the example. I mean, we have created an elevated button, so we are calling the constructor of this elevated button, and then we are specifying two properties which are required. One is the on press. It means the person, I mean, we are printing on the console that a button is pressed, and then we are also showing a elevated button text on that button. Okay. Similarly, we also have filled button. Again, it also has two required or the compulsory parameter that we have to provide. It also has its own inheritance tree. And then we also have some other properties. And here is an example of this filled button. We also have we have seen the floating action button. And again, in the floating action button, the only compulsory thing is the on press. We don't need to provide anything, any child or something like that. Okay. So we have different types of the floating action buttons: small, large, default, and extended. So here you can see that we have the only one compulsory parameter that we have to specify. This is the inheritance, and then we also have some other properties that we can specify, and this is the example of the floating action. And similarly, we can see that the other constructor for the other type of the floating action buttons. So Flutter widgets, again, icon button. We also have the icon button. Again, we have the required properties, which are the uh, on press and the child, or we can say it here, it is more like an icon because we want to specify an icon on top of that. So here we have two compulsory properties. One is the on press, what we want to perform, what we want to do when we press this button, and then we also have the icon. And if you look at that, we have icons dot volume up. It will create this button for me, or this type of the button for me. And then if you look at it, icons is actually a material design icons collection, sorry, which is already there. And you can create a different type of, I mean, it has a long list of the icons, a beautiful icons that you can use in your, so it is by default there. You can just use icons and dot, and then you can, whichever icon that you want to display, and maybe in the app bar, or maybe on the button. So wherever you want to use it, you can use them. We also have some other widgets like segmented buttons. So again, here you can create buttons like that, and if you want to go to the documentation, you can click on the link and it will take you to documentation. We also have some other widgets for the communication. We have badge, which specify dynamic contents. You know, how many files are there, how many emails are unread. If there is a meeting that is in my calendar or something, you can show something like that. We also have the linear progress indicator. We also have the snack bar, which can show a small message uh, based on the action that we are performing. We will be using that snack bar. We will discuss more about that. So we have a badge. So this is an example of a badge code. So we can create a icon button, and then in the icon button, we are putting a badge. If you look at it here, we have a constant icon badge, and then inside the badge, we are putting some label. So what will be the label that appear on that badge, background color. We also have the the icon daughter shape. So we are specifying the icon and with a badge that we are putting over there. Then we also have on press, and of course, with the icon button, you need to press. You need to have the on press, which is a compulsory parameter that we have to provide when we are creating the icon button. So there's another example of the badge. So again, it's an icon button, and then inside we have badge dot count, and then we say that count is equal to this, and then child is equal to this. So we are specifying a notification icon into that child, and then we also have the on press event. If you want to use the snack bar, then we need to write this code here. So we are saying the scaffold messenger dot off context. We are in the context, we are using the scaffold messenger, and then we want to show a snack bar. So in the snack bar, we are providing a snack bar. So the context awesome snack bar. So it will show something like awesome snack bar, and then we have an action, and then inside in action we have a label. That is a label which is coming here, and then whatever function we want to perform when we click on that action. Okay. So this is a snack bar, which a small message which appear at the bottom of the screen. And in this way, you can specify an action, or create a snack bar. We also can customize that snack bar. If you look at that, so again, we have its name using the scaffold messenger dot of context. Snack bar, we have a snack bar, then we have a label and the on press, but we also specify some other thing, like we can have content, what content we want to display here. We also can specify the duration, how long that the snack bar will be appearing, and then we also telling that what will be the width of that snack bar. We want to add some padding inside, what will be the behavior, it will be a floating one. And then we also have the shape. We are trying to make it a rounded shape rather than it cover the whole screen, and just like should like this one. So we want to customize that the visual behavior of that snack bar, so we can change that. So based on these properties that we can specify. Again, the main thing is in the snack bar is this, and then this one, these contents has been specified, or the properties has been specified in that show snack bar uh, function, or the named parameter that we are providing into that one. Okay, so these are the things. The next is the containment. We have alert dialog, we have the bottom sheet, we have card, we have divider, we have list title, list styles, and so on. So all these are the containment. We are combining multiple things into a group, and then that contain multiple widgets inside it. We also have the navigation widgets. App bar we have already seen, and we are using bottom app bar, navigation bar, tab bars. We can specify different tabs in the page, navigation drawer, navigation rail. So all these are the different navigation widgets which already exist in the widget library of the platform. We also have selection, so we can select the things, we can give some inputs, we can date selector, we have a chip, we have a checkbox, we have radio buttons, we have a slider, we have menu. So all these are the selection type of the Flutter widget which exists inside. We also have the text input. We can specify different types of the inputs, and then definitely when we want to interact with our user, we need to get some inputs from the user. And when we reach that point, we will talk more about that. And here you can see that if you go to that link, we are talk about the widget categories, and then we have different type of widgets. I'm not talking about everything. That of course, when we are progress in this uh, course, we will talk more widgets, we'll discuss more widgets, but definitely we cannot discuss everything. So it is a complete catalog. You can go there and you can explore those different type of widgets which exist inside the Flutter framework. So in the last two lectures, we have understand there are two types of the widgets, stateful widgets and the stateless widgets. In the last lecture, we see how we can create a new stateless widget, and then we can use it in our application. So today we will be talking more about the stateful widget. So stateful widget is more like it has a widget and it also has a state. So this is an example of the stateful widget. So we have created a widget, my widget, that is the class name, and this is the widget part. And this part, or this class, is the immutable. Once it is created, we cannot change it. But this widget has a state, so we can create a state. So we can say this is the name of the final string value, which is immutable. We cannot change once it is created. And this we are providing that named parameter. We are providing that what you can say that the value for this final variable. So again, we are specifying the final string name, and then we can assign at the we have to assign a value to this name variable when we are creating the object or the instance of this my widget. And if we don't provide it, then of course it will give you a compile time error, and we cannot compile our code properly. The next thing here, we are using the create state. So we are creating a state of this widget using another class, or we can say that it's a so this is a immutable widget which cannot change once it has been created. But if you look at here, we have the integer variable count is equal to 0, and whenever we are remember our basic application, that whenever we are creating it using the Flutter create application command, it create an application. When we have a fab button, when you click on that, it change that count, and then it is shown on the screen. So it is something which is changing. It is not fixed. It is not like here name is a fixed which appear on the nav bar, no, application bar, app bar. So it appear on that, and then Here the count is changing. So now here is the thing which we can say that it is mutable, it is changeable, we can change it. Okay. So here we can say that is a stateful state of that widget, and it is changeable. We can change the things inside it. So whenever we are executing this, what you can say that gesture detector. So let me talk about this one, the set state. So we are changing the count plus plus. Of course, we can simply say that this count is changing whenever we click on that tab or the floating action button. Whenever I click on that, this count is increasing. But if we don't put that count plus plus into, or we didn't say that set state, then what will happen? It will increase the value of that variable, but that will not be visible on the screen. And I will try to show you during the practical demonstration of our application. We will try to make a stateful widget and try to change the variables inside that state without putting them into the set state or without specifying. So what set state tell it will tell the system or tell the application that the state of that widget has changed. You need to redraw or refresh the UI so that it can reflect the changes in the state of that uh, state of the widget. So if you don't call the set state function, then it will not update the UI. Even we are changing the values of the variables which exist inside the state. So we need to notify our UI builder that there is a change in the state. So we need to rebuild our user interface so that it can reflect those changes to the user, or user can see those changes. Okay. So we also have a gesture detector. There's another widget that can convert any widget into a tappable or the clickable form. So even we have a text here, and that text we are showing to the user, but if it is enclosed inside the gesture detector, now we can specify on tap. So whenever we are clicking on that text, it is going to increase the count plus value of the count, and then that will be shown on that in the user interface. So if we want to convert any widget into a clickable widget, then we have to enclose that widget inside or make that widget a child of the gesture detector. Okay, so this is another that what you can say that a widget which exists in the product. Okay, so this is the application or the practical demonstration that we want to create here. The first thing is it's a time for practical demo, and again we want to build that application. It is I call it a number game, where I want to show two different numbers which are randomly generated between 1 to 0 to 999, and then user need to click on the greater or the bigger number so that it can earn 5 points, and if it click on the wrong number, then it will lose the 5 points. And then if you look at that screen, so the score is changing. These numbers which are appearing on these buttons, they are also changing. So it means it is a widget, or this screen is actually a widget which is a stateful widget because it need to maintain the random two random numbers which are appearing uh, on the buttons, and then we also need to maintain uh, the scores of the user or the player. You can say that if we say it's a game, then we have player which is our user, and then it's playing that game. So let's make that application from the scratch, and then see how we can create a stateful widget and how we can combine, do all those things together. So the first thing is that we need to create a new window. I mean, we need to open that uh, Again, Control Shift P, and then we say Flutter new project, and then we want to create an application. Then it specify that where you want to uh, do that. So we say Flutter dev, and then inside I will say uh, select this folder, and then I say uh, let me reconfirm my you know uh, the naming convention, so that I'm using those naming conventions, so that whenever you see that, so we are say Flutter, and then inside the Flutter, I this is our lecture number 3, so I will say lecture 3, and then we are talking about our number underscore game. So I'm just making sure that I am using the same convention. So as you know that everything, all these lectures are available in the GitHub. So when it will automatically go there. So when I press enter, it say yes, it is creating that project for me. So you can see that. Okay, let me close that part. And now if we look at the lib, we have not Linux, we have this one. So again, let me quickly remove these things. As you know that we can change this color, so that will change the, and then I also don't want to create rather than home. Um, I will remove that part. Okay. And what I need to do here, I mean, definitely, I mean, if we see that we have an error because now we have deleted the my home page class and then does not exist. But what we will do, we will right click here, number one thing, and then we can create a new folder, and inside the folder that will be our pages. Okay. And then inside the pages, I'm creating a new. So we say our number game underscore page dot. So here I say want to create STF. When I put that one, one thing before I can go, because I have installed certain uh, libraries. I mean, if you look at that, it will show you the error. I mean, that error message automatically coming inline here. Okay, so it is coming due to that specific library. So we remember we installed the Flutter library or Flutter plugin. Okay, so this is a plugin that we have installed. Dart automatically, when you install Flutter, Dart is automatically installed. I also installed that specific plugin for the VS Code, and that is the reason I can see this extension. I mean, I can see that error right in the line, so I know that what is the error, so that will make things easier. And the other thing is because of that Flutter, we also have FLT. When I write that, it or stateful. So we STF. So when I do that, it automatically say you want to create a stateful widget of the Flutter. So when I press enter, and now I can give my number, game, name of page. Okay, so I control S and then I press escape, then it will escape from that one, because it is actually uh, uh, changing all these values at the same time in the beginning. Okay, so that's why to show you all that. But how you can I mean, you can specify that thing. You can click at one point and then you press alt and then click wherever you want to make some changes. So I'm clicking on all multiple places, and then now if I just try to change the things, it will change at everywhere. For example, if I just say that number game page. So that is a reason that automatically. So when you are creating the new stateful widget, automatically it specify all those things for us, and then we don't need to worry about. Okay. So let me Control Z here and Control Z. So now STF we want to create, and then here, as you know, all these things places are the where we are specifying the name. So we can give the class name like number game page. Okay, and then we can just simply press escape to out of that specific mode, which is where it is changing the changing the code into a multiple places. So now what we need to do, we need to specify that rather than we don't have a title here, we don't need to specify that thing. And then here I say, I want to create a number game. So press enter. So it will automatically import our class. So if you look at that, it has imported that specific number game page.dart into our program, into our main .dart, and then it say that I want to create that one. So let me quickly run this code. So but before we can run, we need to start the emulator. Okay. So once it is done, let me show you that emulator here. And the other thing that I want to show, that I want to put that one here. And then if you look at that, we are here. So it is coming up. And in the meanwhile, what I need to do, I need to specify a few things. If we go back to our slide, so you can see that we need the number uh, number one, number two, or maybe we can say left number or right number based on the what you can say that the button on which it is appearing, and then we also need to score. So we can specify inside a status. This is our widget, which is immutable once it is created. I mean, we have created that widget here, so it become immutable. We cannot change it. Okay, but we can change these values. Okay, we can change these values. So here in this state, so here we want to create certain variables. So we say int, we can say a left number, right number, okay. And then it says, look, it's a non-nullable instance field, left number must be initialized. So maybe I can just simply say that equal to 0, so that it will remove that problem. Okay. And then we also have a scores. So we say scores is equal to 0. So we are initializing all these integer type variables to the 0 value. And if you look at that now, these are the public variable. It means that if we access that class here, we can here like underscore number game dot uh, left number. So I can access that thing here. I mean, there is no problem. I can not have an express list of the parameters methods must have a, so we can access it outside the class. Okay. But if we specify the underscore in the beginning of the name of the variable, it means that we want that these variables will become private to this specific class. So in that case, if I just try to underscore, I mean, here, I mean, we are not assigning it to the create. So we state number. So it means that if we want to access these numbers outside of the, so we have a public type of the what you the members of the class, and then we have private. So when we specify the underscore at the beginning of the variable name or function name, then it becomes private to that specific class, and it can only be accessed inside the class, not outside. Okay, so this is the one thing. The other thing that what we need to do is need to write a function which can generate the two different random numbers. So when again I can simply say that it does not return me anything. It will be a private function generate random numbers, and it does not have any parameter, and it will create the random numbers. The other thing that I want to display here, or I want to create here, because we need a random number, so we say final, and then we say random, and this random is actually coming from the maths library. Okay, so we click on that, make sure that we are using the right library. So we want to get from the random from the math library. So when I click on that, it automatically imports the library for us. And now we want to create a what you can say that random, and that is equal to random. Okay, so it will create that we are creating a random number generator from our math library, and then we can use that what you can say that we can use that random generator to generate two random numbers. So we say do, and we are why we are doing, let me show you. Left number is equal to underscore random dot next int, and then we can say the maximum value that we want to generate. So I say 1000. So we are having this one. So let me copy this part here and then say underscore right number. So what we are doing here, again, if you look at that, it is telling me that you have declared this function, but you have not used it. You have declared, I mean, again, here, if you look at it, you have declared that left number, right number, and the underscore and scores, but you have not used them in your code yet. Okay. And the other thing is we need to say while. So let me, because we have not finished our do while loop. So, and then we say underscore left number is double equal to underscore right number. So whenever these two numbers are equal, because if we come back to our slides, we want to show two different numbers, and then user need to press on the bigger number. And if they are equal, then how we can say that if these two numbers are which are randomly being generated, and it's a possibility that will be equal. So if they are equal, then which number is bigger? So we don't know. So in that way, we are want to make sure in this situation that the numbers that we are generating randomly in the left button and the right button, they will not be equal. And then if you look at that in the beginning, they are actually equal, 0 0. But when we generate it, we need to make sure that they are not equal. So this is our generate function, which generate two random numbers and save them into the left and right buttons. And of course, score is equal to 0 as well. Okay. So this is the first thing. I hope that you understand what I am doing and why I'm doing it. The next thing that I want to do here, I want to generate our screen. So let's quickly do that, and then we can step by step see that. Again, I want to return a scaffold, and inside the scaffold, we have the app bar, and inside the app bar, we have the app bar, and then here we can say background color, and background colors, we can say that theme dot off, and it is a context, and then we say dot color scheme dot primary color. So if we do that, and then we also need to put that one thing here as well, which is a title. So title is actually a text, and in this side text we can say that it is a number game app. And then we can also I mean, if we let me go back here where my slides is, if you look at that, we have a number game app, but in the beginning we also have an image that we are showing it here, or maybe I can say that. So I have downloaded that image, and then what I will do, uh, I will make sure that we get that image. So for that image, I need to create in the assets, and in the assets I just copy that part here. So first of all, what I need to do, I click on that project, and then I say I want to create a new folder here. I will say assets, and inside the assets I want to create another folder which is called images, and inside that image folder, let I want to paste that thing. So let me quickly go there. We have the code, and then we have the dev, then we have the number game lectures, and then here we have assets, and then so I have copied this image from my other folder and put it here. So now if you look at that image, so we have that image here. Okay, let me refresh my page here. No, it is not showing me up, but anyway. So I want to close that. I want to close the editor, so close that image, but that's we have added that image inside. So as you remember that if we added a new asset, then we need to go into the pub YAML and then we need to specify, we need to unzip that specific part. Let me unzip and then I say that I have the not images, I say this one, and then we say assets slash images. So we do that, and then once we have done that, what we need to do, either we click on that image, that button to get that packages or to update those things, or we can run, go to the terminal, open a new terminal. Let me open a bash. Yep. And then here we say uh, flutter pub get. So when I do that, so it will try to update or get all the libraries if we have installed it. Okay, so let me quickly close that feature. So we have done that. So now we can use that specific, what you can say, that image. So how we can use that image here. So let me quickly bring up my, okay, so let me run this first so that we can see the effect of our hot reload whenever we are saving our. So it will only show me the app bar with that specific theme. Okay, before I want to change the things further, I want to see that things inside our emulator. It is running. So what I want to do, I want to in the beginning of our, what you can say, that uh, before that text which appear on the app bar, I want to put that image inside it. Okay, so that is where we need to specify the leading property inside the app bar, which is it is specifying. So let me change add one more thing in the scaffold, which is the body, and then inside the body, if you look at our slide, actually we are doing what we are having a container in which we are applying the border and then the padding and the margin. So let me quickly bring up that so you can see that we have the number gain. If we want to change the color based on our, we can do that as well. I mean, we can go here and then here we say blue. You can see the difference here. We say blue and gray, and then it will become something like this. Okay, so let's come back here, and then here we want to put a container. So let me first remove that thing, and then first let me complete our app bar. So we say leading, and inside the leading we need to build a widget. So that widget is actually the image. So image dot from the asset. So we want to create an image, we want to show an image from our asset, and then we need to specify the asset. So we have assets slash images slash. So if you look at the name is the numbers underscore logo. So we can say that numbers underscore logo dot png. And as soon as we save it, you can see that now our image is also appearing on the uh, appearing on that app bar. So the next thing that I want to create here is the body of that one. So first of all, I want to create a container because I want that container, and then we apply the margin, and then we say edge dot all, and then I say 8.0. And then the next thing I want, okay, I mean, I just want to add more properties here, comma, and then we say margin. Okay, then margin is also edge.all, it is 8.0. And then again, the next thing I want to add here is the width. So I say width is equal to the width of that whole screen. So we can use the media query, and then media query dot off. I mean, we need to use the dot off function here, dot off, and then from context, and then we say size, and then we say width. So it will cover the whole, what you can say that. Uh, why it is giving, okay, we are putting the margin 2 times, we need to put the padding. Okay, and media query dot off, we say width. Okay, and the next thing, width cannot be unconditional. Okay, okay, don't worry about that. And then we need to specify the border. So we are putting the uh, box decoration. We need to put the box decoration, and inside the box decoration we say border, and that will be a border, and that border is actually, we can say, specify the colors, and that color is more like, again, these colors, this live this now I want to have the color property. Okay, okay, we need to specify border dot all, and then we have the border dot all color property, color, and then using the colors we are trying to amber accent, yes, and then we can also specify the width, that is 2. So now if we look at, we can do that, and then we can say that we also have the border radius, and then we say border radius dot circular. So we need to say that circular, and then we can give the radius like 10.0. So when we specify that, which is giving me an error message, so because we have the error, it is uh, telling me that, and the other thing that we need to specify with the container is a child. So let me specify a child, a simple text, so that we can see the things. For example, place folder. So when I do that, media query dot off context. Okay, so we need to specify these things outside dots. Okay, dot size, dot width. Okay, so now if you look at that, it is creating that container in which we have the margin, we have padding, then we have a width which is covering the whole screen, and then we also have the child. So if we look at the child here, we don't want to show this thing, rather than we want to make our application. If we go back to our slides here, so you can see that right now we on the top we have uh, title, then we have the rules of the game, and then so let me quickly bring up here. So here actually, if you look at, everything is stacked in vertical direction. Right now on the top we have the title, which is the bigger text, and then after that we have the rules of the game, then we have the two buttons, and then we have the score. So if we look at that, I mean, virtually they are stacked on top of each other. So it is more like a column type of the widget. So I say that we have the uh, column child. Okay, we have column, and we have some children. And inside the children, actually, first thing is we have a text, and that text is this number game. And then inside the what you can say that, let me put into that one, and then we want to apply inside, we want to apply the style. So we can say style property want to specify, and then we have a text style, and that inside the text style we are specifying the color. We are say again, we are using the colors again, just like our icons. This colors is also a class which has been defined in the Flutter framework, and it provides you different type of, for example, we say brown because we are shown in the brown color, and then we can also specify the colors, or what you can say that uh, let me quickly, we need to specify the size, font size, maybe I can say 40.0. Then we can need to specify the font weight. Font weight is more like we want to make it bold italic, so we say bold. It should be font weight dot bold. Font weight dot bold or normal. I mean, if you look at that, the properties here, so we have a bold, we have normal, so we have different type of the options here. So right now I say bold. So when I do that, so you can see as soon as I am pressing the what you can say that I press the save control S, I save that file, it automatically show me that thing. So we have added one text here, and in after that text again we also have what you can say that a text which is more like we want to add more text here, and then that will contain the rules for the number. So maybe I can put something like this. So again I say have a text here, and then here I say rules of game, and then if I want to specify the style, then I say text style. So again we can say colors dot blue accent, and we can specify the thing, so you can see that. So here if you look at that, it automatically, I mean, if we are putting anything in the column, it is automatically coming as the remember the we have two types of the axis. One is the main axis, other one is the cross axis. Because it is a column, so top to down or the vertical axis is the main axis, and the horizontal axis is the cross axis. So I mean here they are saying that it is automatically aligning it to the center because it has the oath. But if we want that, we don't want to make those what you can say that alignment to the center align, then we also have, I am just cut this from here, and then we also have an align widget which helped me to align its child, which is our text actually here, and I want to align alignment, and then we can say that alignment dot. So we have the in the alignment we have alignment dot top, and we say left. So when I do that, so you can see that it is coming to the left side of the screen. And then we let me copy this thing here, copy the same alignment, the complete alignment here, and then here I want to add some text. So maybe I can just simply say that blue or gray, and I put that one. So if you look at that, now I want to put the rules of the game. So what is that rules? So if you press the larger number, then you will get 5 points when I save it. So you can see that, and the if you press the wrong button, then you will lose 5 points. So now if you can see that it is uh, showing me those rules. Of course, the color is different from the slides, but that is quite fine. So, but we are understand we have an align. If we want to override the align property of the container, then we can use the align widget, and then we can specify the alignment. Okay. The next thing after the widget is the buttons. Okay, we also have the let's play. So let's add that thing here. Okay, so we also have another text here after this last, and then here we say let us play, and then we also need to specify the style, and that will be a text style, and text style, the color, I think that is a blue one, so we say colors dot blue, and it will be what you can say that the font size, and that will be maybe I say 20.0. I do that. Let's play, and make it bold. We say font weight property. It will be coming from the font weight dot bold. I do that. So we have those texts. So if you look at the next two buttons are not vertical. I mean, if I put another button here after this text, I put a button. So I mean, if I say what you can say there, build button, and then you remember that we need to press the on screen. Right now I'm not doing anything yet, and then we also need to specify the child here. Okay, so we can say child, and then here I need to write that what you can say that if I want to display that left underscore left, but so if I just do that, so okay, what is happening here? Okay, we need to specify the child here. Okay, and this should not be what you can say that let me quickly, what is happening here? Okay, this should be like that, and inside the child we need to specify the text, and inside the text we want to specify that underscore left number. So now you can see that it showed me the left number. But the point is that if I try to make one more, and then here I say underscore right number, then they are coming on because they are inside the column, so they come I mean in the vertical direction. They are below each other, or the up on top of each other in the vertical direction. That's what we don't want. So we want to make them horizontal. So how we can make them horizontal? We can, instead of adding these buttons here after this text, or where we are saying let's play, we want to specify a row here. So when I say row, here I have children, and inside the children's I am putting these two buttons. So now you can see that here what I need to do, I need to specify a few more things here. And what is that? We need to have the main axis alignment, and I say main axis alignment dot we can say that space evenly. When I do that, it is coming these two numbers. And the other thing is that I want to specify the what you can say that I want to have the size of these boxes should be a little bit bigger. I don't want them change, when we have a bigger number, then it's one box is bigger, the other one is small. So I want to make them of the same sizes. So for that one, uh, let me, what you can say that, remove that one button from here. And then the other thing that I want to do here, I want to control X from here. I just cut it from here, and then we have a sized box widget, and inside the size box I put a child, and that will be our button here. Okay, now you can see that because we have not specified the size yet, so we say width, for example 100. When I do that, so now you can see that it has become the what you can say that this button has become a bigger, because the size box is specify the size, and based on the size the number is the child is getting that size. So I need to copy this one here, two buttons here, and then the other thing is I just need to say that I want to create the what you can say that right number on the right button. I want to show the right uh, on right button right number, left button left number. So we have left number and right number, so we have specified these two things. After this row, this row which is specified here, I want to create another, what you can say that if I just go back to the slide here, where is my slide? So let's go back here. So again we have two text boxes, or maybe one text box, again depending on. So let's put our text box here, or text here. Okay, so I will just put a text here after this row, and then I say text, and then here I need to have a scores, and then I put maybe put what you can say that dollar, and then underscore score. So if I do that, so you can see that again, because this is going into the center of the screen and I don't want it, then what I want to do, I need to put that into the uh, align, and inside the alignment I say alignment dot top and left. Okay, or center left. And we didn't put any child here, so we need to put a child, and then I put that one, and we save it, and then you can see that we have that one. But of course we want to apply certain styles on that score, so we say that style text style, and then we say font size, maybe I can say 30, and then we say font weight, I will say font weight or bold. So now you can see that, or maybe I also want to specify the color as well, color, and then not this one, I don't want to do that. Let me put the color property, and then we say colors dot deep, what we can say that, okay, deep, let me deep purple. Okay, so now we have the colors. Now once we have all these what you can say that the properties, now if we look at that, we have not specified anything for the what you can say that we have these buttons here, and then right now we are not doing anything in these buttons. Okay, so what we need to do, so we need to specify a few things. And what is that? We need to create a function which actually what you can say that we want to understand which button has been pressed, and then because we are doing the we need to check everything the same. So what I am doing here to just give you understanding of the flavor, so I am creating what you can say that an enum here. So let me quickly close it down and come back here right on top, out of any class. So we are putting the enum, and then we are saying that button type, and that will be equal to what we have, the left button clicked, or I can simply say left button, and then I say right button. So we have specified this enum here. And then what I want to do here, I want to create number one thing. First of all, let me create a, what you can say, that a constructor for this class, this state class. And then for that one, we can just simply say that underscore number state. And then at the create event, whenever we are creating that class instance here, so we are calling the constructor automatically. Right now we have no constructor which has been defined here. It means it does not perform anything. And what I want to do at the constructor, I want to generate the numbers. When I generate the numbers, and then if I just try to stop that what you can say, that let me restart that application. So when I restart the application, it is giving me an error message. Yes, we have an error because we didn't put a semicolon here. Let me refresh, and then you will see two different numbers here. Yeah, the numbers are coming. So it generate at the load event. Whenever it is creating that state, it generates two random numbers, and because we are showing these numbers inside our buttons, so it show me these two buttons, two numbers on the buttons here. Now we need to make sure that we want to increase the values, or what we want to increase. We want, when we press on this button, it performs something, and it do me the change the state and then update our UI. That's what we want to do here. So let me create another what you can say, that function which does not return me anything, but it, what you can say, that it is a private function. And then the what button click, and then this function will have a button type. Okay, so the button type that we have specified here, let me copy it from here and then put it here, and it will have the button type, and that will be our button type. Okay, now what we want to do, declaration button is not reference. So I mean, it is again giving me the warning message that we have not used that function, and then we have not used that yet as well. So we want to check here, and what we want to check, we want to check if this button is actually the left button or the right button. If the I don't want to specify, we say button type, and then we want to check this button type is double equal to button type dot left button. If it is the left button, then we want to perform certain different things. And in the else part, or we want to do, if it is a left button, we want need to check if the left number is greater than the right number. Then we are giving the, for example, if underscore left number is greater than underscore right number, then what we want to do, we want to say scores, no, underscore scores plus equal to 5. And in the else part, if it is not the case, then what we need to do, we need to decrease the points here. Okay, so we need to decrease the points here. And in the else part here, if it is not a left button, definitely it is a right button. So we can say else. And here we are going to do the same thing, but what we need to do, we need to say that if left number is less than this, sorry, left less than the right number, it means right number is bigger, then we are adding these 5 points into the scores. Otherwise we are removing that one. And once we have done, we have finished that part, the updating the scores, what we need to do, we need to generate underscore generate random numbers again, because we want to, once it is user has clicked on the right number, we change the scores, and then we can update that to two numbers again with the new numbers and so on. So here, if you look at that, we are, when the number is clicked, it check its which number it has, which button has been clicked. It is a left button or it is a right button. So if the left button is clicked, it check the left number is bigger than the right number, then it increase the points, otherwise it will decrease the points. And similarly, if the right button is clicked, check that right number is bigger than the left number, then it will increase the points, otherwise. And then after that, it will actually regenerate two random numbers and put them into the uh, so let me call this function on the click event of these buttons. So this is our left button, which is coming in the left side. So I say underscore uh, button clicked. And then what we need to provide, we need to provide a type of the button. So we say button type dot left button. Okay, so we have provided that. So let me copy this part from here and then put in the right button as well. But now the type that will go, it will be the right button. Okay, so when we click on this, it will send the left button, and then when we click on this, it will send the type as a right button. So let me control S and refresh my, look at that here. If I just click on that, it is not doing anything. When I click on that, click, it is not changing the things. And if I just save here, so now you can see it is actually, I just save it, and because when we save it, it actually hot reload and the state remains same. Okay, so it is showing me different numbers. That the point is, when I click on that, it does not show me the score and it does not change these numbers. The reason is that we are not using the set state in those in that function here. So what I need to do, I can just simply say that set state. When I do that, I mean, I'm not doing anything yet here, but I am informing the widget builders or the GUI builder that the state of this widget has changed. You need to refresh yourself. I'm just doing that right now. Okay. So when I control S and just try to refresh my page, okay, so now you can see that it show me a different number. When I click on the smaller number, now you can see that because of this one, it is actually changing these things for me. So now everything is working perfectly fine. But what we can do, we can say that whenever we are generating these numbers, so we are telling that rather than putting them in outside, I am putting that inside that set state function or set state method. And then in this way, if I do that, refresh my application, again, it will go back to the score back to the zero. When I do that, and it is increasing. And when I click on the wrong number, it is decreasing the things. Here again, I do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. I mean, depending on if I'm clicking on that. So now what we understand how we can manage create a stateful widget, and this is the part which is immutable. Once it has been created, it is not changing. We cannot change its value, but this is the state of that widget, and that can be changed. And we are generating the UI inside the state part, number one thing. And the other thing is, we can have the integers or the variables whose values can change. It means that is the state of that widget. And then we are generating the two random numbers to show those numbers on these buttons. Then we also have the click event of the buttons, and then we checking that which specific button has been clicked, and based on that we are checking which number is greater, left number is bigger or the right number is bigger, and based on that we are deciding or writing the logic that we are going to give points to the player, or uh, we are taking away the points from the, and then we are building that scaffold, and we have application bar. We are putting the we can I mean here I can also put an icon as well. I mean, I say icon, and then I say icons dot menu. icons dot menu. Let me icons dot menu. Okay, and I do that. So now you can see that rather than show the image, it is showing me the icon. I mean, of course, we can also have on press event. I mean, normally when we have these kind of icons, so it bring me a draw here. But definitely, we can do whatever we want. But right now, I'm just putting that image over there. So if I save it, so now you can see that image. So we have the app bar, then we can also have the image. And if we want to make that image to open the drawer, then what we need to do, we need to put that image inside the gesture detector, and inside the gesture detector we have an on press or on press event, and then we can perform a specific function or open that drawer for us. That will come later in this course, but that is for the practical part. And if we just go back to my slides, so you can see that we have completed that specific slide, that application, and that is the end of our lecture. So thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed, and have a good day.